I got bisexual hands. These hands is bisexual. They'll go from doing this, look, they'll go from turning them punches to...
When Durk checked himself into rehab, Charleston White didn't hold back for a second. He went straight to clown mode, calling Durk a straight-up dope fiend after a fan tagged Durk in one of his posts. It was wild. No chill at all. But Charleston didn't stop there. Things got even more disrespectful when he popped up in a pic with Lil Tim, the same dude involved in the incident that took King Von's life. And get this, Charleston was blasting Durk's own track All My Life in the background while posing with Tim. That was beyond shady, felt like a direct shot. Now let's break down this whole snitching drama. Charleston's been pushing this claim for a minute now, that Durk allegedly teamed up with the feds to pin charges on King Von. And when Gunna took that plea deal in the Young Thug Rico mess, the streets were quick to label him a rat.
You don't think so?
A lot of heat on Durk, man. We gotta quit playing the blame game, because I'm already making this kind of money. I'm not finna put my partner next to me and I know he'll...
It got so bad that both Lil Baby and Durk unfollowed Gunna instantly. But Charleston? He jumped right in, calling Durk out for being two-faced.
Durk signed Von.
Man, the label allowed him to sign Von. The label pushed him. The label pushed Von too now. Gilly, Wallow, I blame people like them. Steve, everybody who embraced King Von is who I...
And this is where things really start to spiral. Flashback to February 5th, 2019. A man named Alexander Weatherspoon was targeted outside the Varsity restaurant in Atlanta. He survived the hit, but it wasn't over. Months later, both Lil Durk and King Von got picked up by the cops for that same case. And here's the catch. There was solid evidence stacking up against Durk. One witness even said they saw Durk pull out a strap. Imagine being seen as tight as brothers in the rap game, only for folks to find out you might have ratted on your boy when he wasn't even around to defend himself. That's the storm Lil Durk's caught up in right now, and it's getting ugly.
Of a firearm during the commission of a felony, participation in a criminal street gang activity, aggravated assault, possession of a firearm.
Lil Durk and Lil Baby, they unfollowed Gunna.
Lil Durk told on King Von. That's how he beat his charges. Lil Durk told on King Von. That's how he got his charges beat.
Charleston White, the loudest voice on the internet and never one to stay quiet, is putting Durk on full blast. He's accusing Durk of snitching on King Von and setting him up. And just when Durk's legal drama was already heating up, with his trial being pushed back to October 14th, this just added gasoline to the fire. The streets are buzzing, and Durk might not be ready for what's coming.
Him and Von get into a situation where they had a and once Von got killed, he blamed Von for the pistol case or whatever.
Yep.
Nigga, that was his partner. Don't he wear V-Roy on his hat representing Von?
Yeah.
How you blame Von? No.
Now everybody's side-eyeing the paperwork. It's looking shady. And Charleston ain't holding back, throwing all the receipts online. So what's the real story? Did Durk really flip on Von to dodge his own heat? Or is Charleston just chasing attention as usual? Either way, it's messy. Let's not forget, Durk and Von weren't just collaborators, they were locked in like brothers. Durk signed Von to OTF, gave him that platform, helped blow his name up in the game. Von stayed loyal, always writing for Durk in interviews, always shouting him out online. Then suddenly, folks are questioning all that loyalty. And Charleston's out here stirring the pot hard, saying Durk might have thrown Von under the bus just to save himself.
I'm going to see Lil Tim.
I was his mother asked me to be in a documentary, so I went to go narrate and do the documentary, so that's why I was down.
And just to spice it up even more, Durk and Charleston already had bad blood before this. You really don't see where this is headed? Allegedly, surveillance footage even showed Durk's arm hanging out of a moving SUV, letting off shots. All signs were pointing to both Durk and Von being involved in that Atlanta situation. But then, fast forward to October 2022, and bam, just like that, all charges against Lil Durk were dropped. No warning, no explanation, just gone. Yeah, you heard that right. Meanwhile, King Von, who was already gone at the time, was found guilty. Fulton County's own DA, Fannie Willis, came out and said if Von was still alive, he would have been indicted without a doubt. So even though the evidence was stacking up against Durk, it was Von's name that took all the heat. It's not adding up, and that's exactly why people are now accusing Durk of snitching on Von. One day they're calling each other brothers, and the next, Durk walks away clean while Von's legacy takes the hit. Folks are saying Durk threw his day one under the bus, knowing Von couldn't speak for himself anymore. Charleston White didn't waste a second. He jumped in calling Durk a full-blown snitch. But hold up, it gets even crazier. Some people believe Von was being set up way before he passed. And one major red flag? Lil Durk's lawyer, Nicole Mormon. Here's the wild part. Von once recorded a strange moment where Nicole, dressed like airport security, was seen searching him at an airport. At first it looked random, but when people started digging into her background, things started looking way off. Suspicious ain't even the word. Turns out Nicole Mormon wasn't just some random defense attorney. She used to work with the state for nearly 5 years. Not only that, she was a felony probation officer and part of a specialized task force. Translation? She knew how to move undercover real smooth. So now people are asking, was that airport search just routine? Or was someone already setting the stage to make Von look like the dangerous one in the duo? Because think about it. If Von kept getting into trouble, there were only 2 outcomes: prison or the grave. And either way, that meant Durk would walk free. Sound familiar? That's exactly how it played out. And now that Durk's been arrested again, Charleston White is back talking heavy, claiming karma's finally catching up to him. But Charleston ain't just throwing shots at Durk. He's been coming for Von's family too. One person who's really been in his sights is King Von's sister, Kayla B. Charleston been trolling her for years, and when she finally spotted him in person, she wasn't backing down. Kayla jumped on X, formerly Twitter, and said, "Why I just seen that Charleston White, whatever his name is. I would have beat his behind, but the police was right there." Of course, Charleston wasn't gonna stay quiet. He clapped back with a wild post that had people talking. "Dear King Von's sister, I want to kindly remind you that your tough dead brother was slumped at a club in Atlanta for trying to fight a little skinny dude. I'm sure you don't want to join the hump in the ground gang for thinking you're tough too. Also, I embrace your brother's kiss." Yeah, he really went there. With all that talk about love and respect for Von, Charleston turned around and showed none of it. In an interview, he even told Kayla B straight up, she better watch her back. Yeah, he really said that. But Kayla ain't just out here making noise. According to FBG Butta, she was a real savage back in the hood. He even warned Charleston that Kayla could actually set him up if she wanted, and maybe even finish the job. At this point, Charleston might want to think twice before running his mouth again, cause Kayla ain't the one to mess with. Still, no matter how wild it's getting, one thing's for sure, the truth always comes out. If Charleston White's right, and Durk really turned on Von just to dodge that case, then Durk's street cred is hanging by a thread. But if this is just another crazy Charleston White stunt, then Durk better step in and shut it all down quick before the rumors get any worse. One way or another, this drama ain't dying down. The streets are buzzing, the internet's lit, and this whole story is still unraveling. So now it's your turn. What do you think? Did Lil Durk actually snitch on King Von, or is Charleston just stirring the pot again? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And while you're at it, hit that like, subscribe, and share button for more real stories straight out of the streets. Don't miss a beat.